All right. So, prior to this, we were talking about my estranged cousin that lives in Davis. So,
Yeah, we have to go hunt
if
down
this,
Annie's cousin, apparently.
Okay.
I have an
Sounds
estranged
fun.
cousin. She lives somewhere north. I think she might go to school and work in Davis, and she works at a gym. That's all I know.
If we find her, can we unestrange her?
Right. Okay. So the story is, and my God, if this happened to like reach the masses, I don't know what would happen. The story is that my
Well,
uncle, yeah.
luckily for you, nobody is watching.
I mean, I kind of hope someone does
Yet.
because I would like to meet her. Like I want to meet my mini me. My uncle had a child with a woman in the early 2000s, and I probably shouldn't say anything bad because her mom's a lawyer. But basically, all I can say is that we have no contact with my cousin. She's in the hands of her mother, and I don't know what is told to her, but she has blocked us on all forms of social media. She looks just like me. I think she's about 20 years old, and she lives in the Davis area and works at a gym. And her name is Sahara Jane, like the desert. So
Cool.
if Sahara Jane happens to come across this video, your cousin Annie wants to meet you. But
I should find her and I should get her to fall in love with me.
you know what?
I'll help.
I know her Instagram. I found her Instagram and then I said hi to her and she blocked me right away.
Oh,
So I think she's being told that we're all like assholes or whatever. I don't know. It's very strange. And
We could both DM her and say Annie's really cool, actually.
well, no, you should
like,
send me her
you don't have
Instagram
to.
and I'll hit her up and not say that I know you at all and just see if I can
I
lay
don't
some.
know. She's like, yeah, her Instagram is private, so she might like just deny and block. I don't know. She, from what I've been told, is like very paranoid for some reason about us. So she has everything on private and is constantly in the state of paranoia that someone's out to get her. I don't know. The child has, I don't know. It's strange, but there's a
So
younger
mysterious.
girl out there that looks like me, but actually, I think she's taller than me. She's like, I don't know how tall she is, but she looks like she's probably like 6 foot. So she's like twice my height. But anyways, that's my story. I've never told that to anyone publicly, but
It's a good story.
my family's like very small. I only have one other cousin and then her. So I guess she doesn't really count. So I'm like, we need to find her. I need the masses' help.
Well, that's not a bad. My family is weird. Like my family's full of like drug addicts and alcoholics and criminals and.
Okay.
My
I feel like
mom and
that's kind of normal.
my mom and I always joke that you can make like an A&E true crime documentary about some people in my family.
Why? Do you want to share stories?
I should gain more details before I share stories, but
Okay.
yeah, it's just wild people in my family. I have family that actually live in Davis too that are like multi-millionaires. Like that we don't talk to. My family is very like divided, like in certain factions, and of course, I got stuck with the faction that the rich part doesn't talk to. So I always joke to say like I'm not getting any of the will.
Yeah.
And when I say they're rich, I mean to the point where like my uncle, I think he's like my second uncle or my great uncle, my grandmother's brother. He he owns multiple houses.
Uh-huh.
And the way that one of his sons was gifted his first vehicle was a Mustang, which was a Mustang, was my second uncle had bought the Mustang in all cash, just had the cash on hand one day, bought the Mustang at the dealership brand new, parked it in the garage of one of his houses, left it there for months to years. Apparently, I don't remember the time, but forgot about it. And then, months to years later found it and was like, "Oh, shit, here's a car," and then gave it to his son, and that was his first car. And
Wow.
one year when
Wow.
when we did used to hang out, I remember we went to Thanksgiving dinner at their house, and they had one of those bathtubs that you can overflow because it's got a drain on the floor that, so you never have to turn the water off.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I love taking hot baths.
Dude, me too.
It's the best time.
Yeah. I'm gonna take one tonight.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm just making a post. with
Epsom
the link.
salts.
Oh, what do you have a preferred? I usually like the eucalyptusy stuff.
Oh, that's good. I like that too. I like the hemp or the lavender. Generally.
Lavender.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's always good. People, men in particular, like to talk shit about baths because
No, they're the best.
yeah, absolutely. There's like a personal hot tub.
Dude, exactly. I like to read in the bathtub. Like I'll take a book that I'm okay with endangering a little bit and
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say.
have it nearby.
Yeah.
Just soak.
What if? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm making a post that we're live.
I'll do that too.
Should I post?
I will reshare it also.
Should I post the YouTube link or should I post the link to this so when people click it, they like have to join the group?
That'd be
Is
funny.
that even possible?
Yeah, because you send. I'm gonna the link that you send me to join.
No, don't do that. I don't want people showing up on you. You're an agent of chaos like that.
Why?
Because I am the controller. I have to deal with these motherfuckers. I have the shit right here. I have to deal with it.
So
In
post the-
Annie's dream world, there's like 72 people on screen right now, just all fucking chaotically yelling at each
Oh,
other.
that sounds like a work call. Like a Zoom meeting.
It's like a Zoom meeting where everyone's trying to share their short stories.
Right?
Okay, then I'll post the YouTube link. That's fine.
And
Let's see
plus,
if I can find
the link for this never changes. So if somebody got the link, they'd be able to join this shit whenever they want. You'd be
That's
savage.
terrifying.
I can change the
Yeah,
link.
but like everybody that views my stories are all my own friends that I know. So if somebody joined, it would be someone that I would know. Unless you feel like randoms, if you post it on your story, then yeah.
I have randoms all over my Instagram.
Okay.
And my Instagram, we'd get a fucking school shooter up in here. Like,
Wait, why does it? Oh gosh. Okay.
I have a plan to do like a 4 to 5 hour stream on Saturday,
Wow.
Okay.
and it's probably gonna be terrible. I might not even finish it. I might just do like the first half. There's a video that I'm gonna do like commentary on. I guess is like the
Okay.
trendy word for it. But it's like a 3 hour long video. But I have to talk about it.
What's the are you okay with sharing what the video is yet, or is that
Yeah,
that
no,
sketchy enough?
it's like there's this, there's like horror movie review YouTubers.
Yeah.
There's this one guy who just did a video, and basically half the internet is trying to get this guy to quit YouTube because he sucks so bad.
That's delightful.
And I'm part of this. He went after a bunch of YouTubers that a lot of us like, that I like in particular. And the kid just came off as a douchebag. I actually made an edit of the kid. I took a bunch of like clips and totally edited them. Basically, I made edits of this kid saying like terrible shit, and like it
Wonderful.
did pretty well on Twitter. And the
Yeah.
kid's a terrible person from what I can.
No, that sounds like it's gonna be a banger.
It's been like the talk of it's got great crossover. So it's the kid that made it, he's a horror movie YouTuber, but he went after all these guys that are like comedy YouTubers and commentary YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that's commented on it has been from the comedy and comment, but no one from the horror movie community, which I hate to say like horror movie community, like I'm a part of this, but no one that is into like horror movie reviews has done like talked about this kid. This kid just kind of made horror movie people look like fucking douchebags. And so I feel like I have to come out and say that no, not all horror movie people are douchebags.
That's me. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, what?
Sorry, I was getting the link.
We're like, who is that? Someone's trying to hype us up. Wait, so whatever happened to that kid that disappeared?
What
Did-
kid?
Jordan?
Oh, I have to hit him up.
Did he just like vanish?
No, he's his Instagram is suspended.
And he
Oh,
never
been
he
there.
never tried to
Well-
like
Like, get it back?
yeah.
Well, what the fuck can you do?
Is it like permanently suspended?
I don't think so.
Okay,
It sounds like it's gonna come back. He just said he's in trouble for now.
I see. Like an Instagram jail sort of a situation.
Yeah, he hasn't necessarily told me exactly why. He gave me some edgy answer, like he likes to challenge authority or some shit.
That'll do it.
I was like, right on, brother. But
I
So-
just love how like he was like, I can't go on live. You know, I was in a car accident, and then he sent me photos, and I was like,
He looked
"Really?
fine.
Like, you looked fine. Like, what are you talking about?"
he was telling us this, like, you would have thought his face was like mangled in some accident, and he was
I
like,
was like, wow, like you look totally okay.
yeah, I was like, dude, you just look like a dude. I think he's just nervous.
Yeah, it's okay. I just thought, well,
You-
where did he
You
say?
guys are pretty intimidating. So I mean, I get it.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, it's funny. He's a nice kid. I was telling Matt I want to bring him on. I want to be very nice to him the whole time, and then as soon as I get him on screen, just start roasting the fuck out of him.
He'd probably just start giggling. To be honest, I think he would laugh.
I can go in pretty hard on people. You definitely haven't seen that side. I
Roast master?
no, I'm just a fabulous shit talker.
Like, no,
Okay.
I can make him cry.
It's
I can make
kind
him
of
cry.
it's kind of like a curse that as I've gotten older, I've tried to work on. The old me is like the old me. Like I'd be on like I was just ridiculous. I was just like anybody that would say anything to me, it would become a thing.
It's okay.
Not that this
Right.
kid's gonna say anything to me. That's what would make it terrible. Is that he'd get on and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I just start going in on him.
Well, do you have his number? Or
I have his Twitter.
Yeah, just send him a message. I'm sure he would.
He should join us right now if he's.
Do you guys
free.
want me to tag you in this?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
I always make sure.
I
I was
just-
telling Annie that I always make sure because I usually my like default assumption is that people want nothing to do with me or like don't want to associate with me, so I don't tag people and stuff.
No, you can tag me anytime.
Rob, we love hanging out with you. Okay, shut up.
I just went ahead and tagged you guys without even asking. So
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
feel-
always
feel free.
down.
This is a collective, okay? So we're a joint force.
Oh, so what do I do about that? I told Matt. I know I told both of you that like a very rare pretty girl followed the Instagram.
Nice.
Just message her. Like, don't you always overthink things. Just do it.
Say something
Okay?
super weird. Do something super weird.
I'm kind of tempted to just go that route.
But it's like because you've been posting these small clips, she can see what you look like. It's
That-
really not weird. To be honest, I get messages all the time from pages that don't even have a picture. And they're like, hey, thanks for the follow.
That's different. It's
know-
already been like a week since she's followed me.
Yeah, but you can still do it. You can be like, hey, thanks for the follow. And then be like, check this out. And then maybe just like ask her a question or
Check what
something, I don't know. You're going to have to find some content yourself to like share with her.
Well, I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
like send
the
her
fact
myself.
that she followed you shows that she has some kind of
I
interest
know.
in whatever
I
you're
know. Obviously, she's
tweeting.
interested in something that I post. I think it's funny. It's happened before where I get into conversations with shit. You were probably one of them in the first place. I start getting into these conversations with people, and then for some reason it hits me that I'm like, oh, every time they get a message, it's coming from Disco Acid Cult, not just like Rob. Like, so I feel like it's just weird to be like,
No,
yeah.
because I mean, to be honest, like when you and I first started chatting, I was like, okay, who is this person? They're very interesting and we have a similar interest. So that's when I was like, what's your name? So it would probably be a similar situation,
Yeah.
If she really doesn't want to talk to you, then she won't even open the DM.
so
Okay. It doesn't hurt to try.
I have this I'm way too old to be caring about like people not wanting to talk to me is how I always feel. Like I'm obviously now I'm getting way too serious about it. I'm not gonna fucking hit this girl up and do anything serious. But to move the conversation over a little bit, I've always been or not always been, when I was younger, I was a fucking champion. I've really never dealt with like people telling me. I don't want to say people telling me no, because like people have told me no, but throughout my life, most girls that I've pursued, shit's always worked out like in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
And so that sounds like a flex, but now I'm learning that it's not, because now I'm 30 years old and it's like the biggest fear of my life to like message a girl and she's like not receptive. It actually happened. The last time I messaged a girl was probably like a year or two ago. It was a girl I went to high school with. Like we've always been fine. I just was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna try, just because I always wanted to. And she leaves me on red. And dude, I was devastated for like months. I was like, no, this is terrible. But I never got to learn my lesson. I never had anyone fucking tell me no, or like,
Well, why don't you? And I mean, you don't have to message her. You can comment on a picture.
well, no, realistically,
You
I'm
just
just
be
gonna
like, nice.
re-
Just comment so hot.
no, realistically, I'm not taking this thing that seriously. I just think it's funny that I could probably count the pretty girls on one hand that have followed my Instagram. And I can say that here confidently because none of them will ever click on these fucking links to watch this shit live. Because I've learned that like nobody on the Instagram cares about this YouTube shit.
Well, why don't you? Okay, you can either comment on a photo and then just say something, or message her and say, "Hey, so I have this club on Wednesday nights. Want to join?"
No, that's so
why
tacky.
not? Like,
That's you. That's you wanting more people in this because you like chaos.
yeah, but then she'll respond to you and you'll start a conversation, because even if she's like, oh, I don't know, then the door is already open for a line of conversation.
Realistically, I'm just gonna hit her up and say, "Hey, you fucking like Charlie Manson? Like, let's
See, yeah,
that's
that
an opener.
too.
yeah." No, I'm not actually being serious about this. I just think it's funny that there are girls that I'm like, oh, I should fucking hit them up and like practice. To me, texting long distance girls is like practicing texting game, basically.
Yeah.
It happened. There is one girl. The girl that I just told Matt about, the girl that I'm like totally in love with, Scarlett. Her name's Scarlett.
It's a good name.
We got into a conversation on this.
Is that the one in Mexico or LA or?
I think it's both. I can't really tell.
Okay.
I think she's back and forth, honestly.
Okay.
Her Instagram says she's back and forth, but and she's so cool. She's so funny. If she saw me saying this, she would think it's hilarious. So I'm totally fine with this. But yeah, the first time we got into a conversation, we got into like an actual conversation, and that's when it first hit me that I'm like, oh, I'm messaging this girl under the name of Disco Acid Cult, and it just felt weird. It made me think of like if I went to like a clothing brand that I like Local Boogeyman is like my favorite clothing brand. If I was just messaging that dude like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I was fucking doing this, and like if I was just hanging out with my mom, she's like, who are you talking to? I'd be like, oh, Local Boogeyman, that's who I'm talking to. Like, I imagine these girls just like having like a night with their mom or something. They're like, oh, who you texting? They're like, a Disco Acid Cult. Like, it just sounds goofy to me.
I don't think that's what happens.
They probably don't live with their moms, hopefully.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying they live with their mom. I'm just saying you guys never hang out with your mom and you just happen to be texting and your mom's just like, oh, who
No,
you
I do
talking to?
sometimes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, see. And imagine if you told your
yeah.
mom, like, oh, I'm talking to Disco Acid Cult. Your mom would be like, you're on drugs.
No, she'd probably be like, oh, I'm talking to this guy that runs a fan page.
So Scarlett thought I was a girl. It was actually hella funny. For no real reason. For no real reason. This was before I'd ever posted myself on that page. We were like messages into the conversation, and I said something. I played it off really well though. I think it had to do with like how she like thought I was funny. I said something that like was like, yeah, I'm a dude, and she was like, oh, I don't know why I thought you were a girl, and you could tell she was like, now that this is a dude, I'm not necessarily trying to keep talking to you. And I said something about like, oh, I used to wear eyeshadow when I was younger, so I could totally understand how you think I'm a girl. And then after that, she was like, oh, okay, yeah, like I think she thought it was funny. And then we continued talking, and it was fine. But I think more girls probably run like true crime pages than guys, I would guess, nowadays.
I have no idea.
That would be my guess.
Not that I consider my shit true crime, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like, okay, so how old is this girl?
Which one?
The Scarlet girl.
Oh, like 20s. I haven't talked to her in a while.
Okay.
I'm not seriously pursuing these Instagram girls.
They just exist.
Yeah, I just
in
think it's
your
funny.
realm. Okay.
Yeah, I just think it's funny.
Well, I guess this is on par for tonight's theme of first dates. So.
I didn't write anything.
But you have
I
stories.
Well, I mean, are we just telling life stories or are we writing?
I wrote like a lengthy paragraph of like different little online or like first dates I had went on from like online dating that were just like that sucked.
I'm
So
curious about
I
that.
did not do anything smutty tonight. I just did like my own experiences, which was new.
No, well then I
But
owe you $20.
yeah, no, I didn't do anything fictional. I was like, okay, I do have a history of online dating when I was in my like late teens, early 20s. So I wrote like just a couple of them. I have a lot, but I just wrote a few sentences about some of them. But yeah, I figured that you probably weren't gonna write anything and you just have stories.
I'm gonna write. I was just fucking dealing with all this computer shit for like fucking 2 years.
Yeah.
Which is funny because that means I had all the time in the world to like, because I'm not streaming, but I don't know. I panic about like when I have shit that I want to do, like if I can't get it done that day. So I've just been in like a state of panic for like the last 2 weeks without
Yeah.
a computer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But-
And you'll see if you'll get your old one back.
I'm hoping the guy just keeps it. I don't want to pay him the $40.
Oh, what are you on now?
I had to buy a new computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like just went to fucking. I just went to buy a computer like 2 nights ago. Like I just plugged this thing.
Oh shit.
It's funny. I'm so bad with this shit. I bought a computer, spent $1,000 on a new tower, get it home, leave it on my floor for like 6 hours, take a nap, wake up, get it out of the box, put it where it goes, and I plug in like my USB cords to the back of the computer. I don't plug the computer in. I go to bed. The next day I get home, and then I go to turn the computer on, and it's not turning on, and I'm stressing about it. I forgot to plug it in, so I fucking plug it in. And then just now, the reason it took me so long to get online and get you guys on here was because I was like plugging my headphones in. Basically, all this stuff that I should have set up for hours before we start streaming, I'm literally figuring out like 15 minutes after we're supposed to start streaming.
That makes it kind of exciting.
I'm usually very sweaty when I first start the streams because I'm stressing figuring this stuff out.
Well, I'm glad you made it. That's all that
Well, if I didn't make
matters.
it, none of us would fucking be here right now.
That's true. That's true.
So what's so when you do your 6-hour stream, what are you going to discuss?
I'm gonna play this guy's 3-hour video and just keep pausing to talk shit about him every 2 seconds because he says something
Oh,
stupid.
right. Oh, so side note, I watched a documentary the other night on Ashley Madison.
Mhm.
You remember that website?
The website?
The
Yeah,
website
there's
for cheating.
Yeah, there's a new documentary on Netflix
That's
all
awesome.
about it. It's really good.
Didn't
mean,
they have that? They had like a big leak or like a threat of a leak?
Yeah, they had like a huge hack and everyone's data was put on blast and literally like there was no resolution to it. It was just like it was out there. Everybody started getting divorces. Some people actually killed themselves.
Oh, hell
It
yeah.
was so intense. And then
That
I
was like an
think-
oh, hell yeah, I believe it. Not like a.
And then like because
Could be
like
either
there
one.
were celebrities and like politicians that were a part of it, like millions of people were just fucked. And then like that was it. Like people were fucked. The guy had to resign, the president, and that was it. And then I think they sold the company and it still exists. But
Does it?
yeah, they were, I mean, that's what they said in the documentary. Are you looking it up?
Oh yeah, AshleyMadison.com.
Yeah. But
Life.
they interview a couple different people that used it at the time and they kind of centralize it around this like Christian family. And it was like this guy that had like the dream wife and everything was perfect. And he was like, but I don't know, there was just this other side of me. and he ended up like, I guess like him and his wife, they were super religious and they became famous on YouTube for singing like Frozen or something at the time. And so he ended up being in the news when the leak happened because they were like, Christian Frozen YouTube.
That is
YouTube guy, a part
wild.
of Ashley Madison, and then his wife, who's like this beautiful little Christian woman, is like, "How dare you do this to me?" But she's like, "Oh, it's okay. Under God's eyes, I'll forgive you." And they're like still together.
I have a theory about Christian people. You ever notice it's always Christian people that are like cheating and like doing kind of sexual things? And I think it's because Christians see I think they see like the hierarchy of sin is like drugs and alcohol are like the worst, but sex things aren't as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you have to get up in front of your church and admit to the scandal, it sounds less bad to say I cheated on my wife than I picked up a meth habit.
Yeah, I mean, don't some
That's
of them
true, as
like
long as
they
you don't
do
have to go into
things to try
detail.
to-
Yeah.
I mean, don't some of them? Okay, like what's that thing that they do where like, this was actually in one of the smut books I read called Priest, but it's like they'll like cheat on their wife, but what they'll do is they'll like insert their dick in the girl, but they like won't move, and then they'll claim like they
I
weren't
think
actually having sex because like just the girl was moving.
I thought that
And
was
not
a Mormon thing.
him.
I heard that about being a Mormon thing also.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's
My Google search right now is Mormon not moving during sex. I don't know what else to look up.
Just
Oh, here we go.
Look up Mormon sex techniques.
Here we go.
yeah.
Soaking.
Yes.
That's what it's called. Soaking is a sex act that involves a person putting their penis in another person's vagina and staying completely still. Somebody with a username says the logic is that because there is no thrusting, it doesn't count as sex. In a similar vein, jump humping is a similar tactic
Yes.
some young Mormons use to evade the chastity code.
What the fuck is jump humping?
It's
Let's Google that too.
It's no, so I can tell you exactly what it is because I
Hell
saw
yeah.
it in a documentary once. So it's the same thing. It's like soaking, but you have a third person in the room and they're jumping on the bed. So then you're thrusting into the person, but
Bro,
you're
not-
physically moving because the
The
person
depravity.
is jumping.
That's insane. That's like clearly more lurid than just normal
The
sex.
only
That's
reason-
weirder.
Not to
the-
not to call it abnormal, whatever.
The only reason why I know that, oddly enough, is because I think it was last year there was a new show. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu. It's called Jury Duty. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
No.
basically what they do is they get a random guy and like everybody else is a celebrity, but the guy doesn't know that. And they have like a live jury duty and the people are sequestered for like 6 weeks. And in the show, of course, like they're all talking to each other. One of the girls, I think she like cheats on her boyfriend because she's away for 6 weeks. And then she hooks up with one of the other jurors, but it doesn't count if they do that technique. So one of the other people is jumping on the bed. It was a whole thing.
That's amazing.
But
I'm glad that between the three of us we have a pretty wide body of knowledge about most things.
yeah.
I'm curious about the and to each their own. I've certainly done some weird shit when I was younger. But so they say that you can do that, somebody jumping on the bed, that makes it okay, but like there's still like an insertion going on.
Yeah, but it's not a thrusting insertion, it's a soaking insertion. And you're not making the movement. The movement's kind of happening to you.
Yeah.
As incidental to the jumping.
So then is the jumper is he guilty of some kind of sexual assault?
That's a good question.
Is he
I don't
forcing
know.
he's forcing
really-
this to Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, so then like if a guy was holding onto his dick, but he wasn't moving it, but like a girl was moving his hand,
That'd be the girl's fault.
is it okay?
I think so.
So then is he masturbating or like does it not count?
Well, if the guy jumping on the bed is making it happen, I would say the girl is. It seems like their idea is whoever is physically doing, like, making this happen is the person who is responsible.
In the eyes of God, the jumper is the guilty one.
So
So he's
in the
taking on
eyes
the
of
sins of the
God-
world,
He's
much
got-
like Christ.
Jumper's going to hell.
Right.
So in the eyes of
Taking one for the
God,
team.
sex only exists with movement. Basically.
Yeah. Mhm. That's
All I know
seems
is if any
sound.
of my boys needed me to go to hell for them to get laid, I would take one. I would take one for them any day.
You'd get on that bed and you jump.
I'd go straight to hell, just as long as they got the job they needed done.
But like, okay,
That's true
what about
sacrifice.
like guys that like just like come on cue? Like, is that what is that?
Well, then it's over.
Yeah, then it's over.
It's
Right.
just over. That's a less awkward story to tell
It
your church. You
doesn't
better hope
count
it's
as
over.
anything. But I feel like the ejaculation is part of the act of sex, so it just like it doesn't count at all. Is standing
Well,
there.
it depends.
And
Were
just,
they
coming.
thrusting or were they soaking or were they just standing around?
I am so
No,
not
I'm
leaving.
just like picturing like maybe like a a guy that's like he looks at some really hot girl and then he just
Just like outside walking around. This is like a jizzing in his pants situation.
yeah exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that just falls under the category of, God looks the other way because it's like a natural whatever, It's when it's a
He's
it's a
like,
fluke.
my
It's a fluke.
bad.
Right.
Okay.
I'm so not leaving this one uploaded.
Oh, come
No, this
on.
is good. This is great.
No, this is good content. I'm sure you'll get fans from this.
Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I don't know if you guys know any other weird sexual, religious.
I just think it's always religious people. I think because everyone's gone to church and heard about this guy cheated on his wife and that guy did this and I don't know. I feel like I'm not saying cheating or like sex stuff is like exclusively Christian or Mormon or whatever. I just feel like it happens more so than someone in your church getting hooked on drugs.
At least that
Yeah.
you hear about, yeah.
Yeah. I know in my church,
But-
when I was a kid, one of the guys at our church cheated on his wife, and like, dude, we got like the pastor gave like a fucking sermon about it. All like they put this guy on blast. Like we got a whole Sunday about this guy cheating on his
Oh
wife.
my
Like,
God.
yeah, it was serious shit. It was like, yo, here's what happened. Like this motherfucker among us cheated on his wife, and like he was welcomed back. I think I don't remember too much. I just remember as a kid that I was like, what's going? You're a kid. You're like, what the fuck's going on? This guy's just putting this guy on blast in front of the church. Like,
Oh my God.
The juicy sermons.
But
Yeah.
I mean, in the Ashley Madison documentary, the people that work for the company, they were trying to give the argument of like, well, we have millions of subscribers. It clearly means that people are doing this. You can't wrong us. But then, of course, once all the information was leaked, people were going out and killing themselves. It was just
yeah.
crazy.
That's-
I don't know, but
That's terrible moral logic. That's like a drug dealer saying, I have a lot of clients, so it's okay that I sell drugs.
Right?
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they kind of centralized it around this Christian family. And then they also interviewed this this Black woman that she openly said that she had a history of cheating, but then she did end up getting married. And the guy also has affairs. So it like worked out for them because they both use the website. And so they
So
just
that's
have
how they
this, like,
bonded.
yeah, that's how they bonded. And so they like have this open marriage where they can cheat on each other as long as it's okay with one another. So if he's like, I found this babe that's really hot, the wife has to approve her first. Um,
So they're just
Yeah.
polyamorous, basically, right?
Yeah.
yeah, essentially. So it was kind of like that, and then the Christian family. So it was, yeah, it was something else. But
Do you guys like that song Polyamorous by Breaking Benjamin?
I have
I
never heard
don't
that
know.
song.
Yeah, I don't know if
Oh,
it's.
you guys missed out in like the 8th grade. You guys don't know who Breaking Benjamin is?
I know who they are.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. It's a great song. It has nothing to do with polyamory, I'm pretty sure, but it is what it's called.
I will give it a listen later if you remind me.
It's it's Breaking Benjamin. It's 8th grade.
Right.
But I like to go listen to that old. We used to call it butt rock in like
Yeah.
high school. Yeah. Good stuff.
So Saturday, I'm gonna go to Monster Palooza. If you've heard of that,
You told me about it.
it's a big horror movie convention. So they're gonna
Cool.
have a bunch of actors there.
Who's gonna be there?
Oh, there's a whole list. We can look it up right now.
It's in LA. It's got to be good shit.
Yeah, I go to all of them. They're like at least 3 or 4 times a year, and I go to every single one of them. And funny enough, Kevin Dillon from Entourage is going to be there, so I'm actually excited to meet him.
Is it in Pasadena?
Yes, it is.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, Doug Bradley, Kane Hodder, Matthew Lillard,
Yeah.
Michael Rooker. It says he's canceled. Michael Rooker. If you guys haven't seen Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer,
I have.
that
It's a classic.
what a great movie.
Yes, Skeet Ulrich is going to be there.
Yeah, Skeet Ulrich is the man.
One of my family friends was in Nightmare on Elm Street, and she's going to be there.
What's her name?
So, her name's at the bottom. It's Jennifer Rubin. If you go to like guests on their website and go all the way down. And then
Is Tom Savini going to be there?
you know what? I've seen him at all the other ones. I don't know if he's going to be at this one.
Tom Savini's so cool.
Tom Savini is the man.
Yeah, they have some like interesting names. The first one I ever went to a couple years ago, they had the whole cast of Twin Peaks. That was the best one.
Oh, I'm watching through that right now.
Oh my gosh, it's my
great.
favorite show. I love Twin Peaks. Yeah, the woman that plays Laura, she was there, and I got her to sign the prom picture.
Oh, damn.
And so
That's cool.
that was a pivotal moment in my life.
All right, there's Jennifer
So-
Rubin.
That's hella pivotal.
Yeah. But yeah, it should be fun this weekend.
You should
It's
try
like-
to see Tom Savini.
Is he going to be there?
Yeah.
Is he on the list? Okay. Yeah, I'll have to see because like there's like thousands of people that go to this stuff, and some of the lines are
Oh yeah.
ridiculous.
And his is going to be, I can imagine, one of the longest.
Like I've seen Nick Castle at a couple of them, and the line to get his autograph is like at least 2 hours long.
Oh, Melissa Barrera is going to be there. That's actually really funny. I bet her line's going to be long, and last year it would not have been long.
What was she in?
She
Oh,
was
yeah, I
in
see.
she was in Scream 5 and Scream 6, and she's the one that got like recently for God, I don't even want to like say this shit on my stream right now. She's the one that got not fired, it turns out, but they didn't renew her contract, and the reason that they gave is because she was talking about all the Palestine shit on Instagram.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, I see.
And so people are mad. People are, oh, they fired her because she's like pro-Palestine. I don't believe that's the reason. I'm kind of conspiracy theorist about like Hollywood though.
Yeah.
Scream 5 and Scream 6, everyone now magically has like amnesia and is forgetting that everybody fucking hated her in Scream 5 and Scream 6.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the studio just took the first chance they could get. Like they just picked a reason and we're like, oh, that's it. We're not going to renew your contract. I think they were trying to get out of it. Because how do you exist in Hollywood only hiring actors that are not on pro-Palestine side? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a big thing. Like that's just me though. But I would imagine so now she's got like a whole new fan base. It's almost like the best thing that's happened to her career, to be honest, because now she's got everybody is forgetting that nobody liked her now she's got a lot of fans and people are all down for her, and good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
She was also in Abigail, I guess, which I didn't see, but I guess that was something that was new.
Yeah. At the end of July, I'm going to go to another one, Midsummer Scream, and Cassandra Peterson's going to be there.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
And
she's she's I think she's like so hot when she's not Elvira. Like I think she's hotter. It's just Cassandra Peterson.
yeah, she was a groupie back in the day. I
Yeah.
feel like I've heard her stories of how I think she like played piano with Elvis or something, and then there was a Jimi Hendrix story as well.
All the best gals were groupies back in the day.
Yeah. I know this one woman that lives down the road from me. She's friends with my dad. Pamela DeBar. Have you heard of her? She's like the most famous groupie of all time. She has a book, I think, called "I'm with the Band."
Oh,
And-
I've heard of.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
before.
any major musician you could think of, she has been there. Like from the Doors to the Rolling Stones.
Have you seen that
Literally
documentary?
everybody. I'm with the Band.
No, there's a really good. It's like a '70s groupie documentary. Let me see. I think it's called Groupies, and it's on YouTube from 1970.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a Rob Zombie samples part of it. It's this girl saying, "You get to fuck the prettiest," and then she goes on to say like guys in bands and no groupie.
Oh,
groupies,
yeah, the cast is Pamela DeBar. Okay, so she's in it. And
Yeah,
Sophia
groupies.
Plastercaster.
The groupie was like almost like a subculture unto itself back then,
Yeah.
which is badass. I wish groupies were still like that was like a thing, like girls like dressed up and
Yeah, but like it was easy access to get to people back in the day.
it was the only way you got to
know?
people back in the day.
Yeah, like
Now-
she could Pamela DeBar discusses how her next door neighbor, who was it? I think her next door neighbor was Jim Morrison. And then she would just walk down the Sunset Strip and these people were accessible.
Yeah. Well, nowadays it's nowadays you've got every show has meet and greets and backstage passes. And,
Oh man, guys, Instagram is down.
is it?
Yeah, not necessarily for everybody, but I was trying to share one of our tags and I just
Really?
Googled it. Sounds like they're having some problems at Instagram.
Oh no.
It's
Let
up for
me-
it's up for me.
Well, it
Wait.
turns on, but it's not like reloading to the next story when I click down. Oh
No,
wait, no, it is.
Yeah,
I don't
Mine's
know.
good.
I don't know. Maybe.
I hate when it
It's a
goes
little
down
off and
for
on.
like me or one and like not for everybody else.
Right?
Yeah, I'm always on down detector, like what's going on. Usually
That's
will
what
tell you
that's where
right
I was
away.
just looking at it.
The internet is sometimes so cool that like there's like collective panic that everyone's like gotta go. I love doing that shit too.
Right?
Yeah. Let's see. All right, so do we have any first date stories?
I mean, I think you should start with yours.
Yeah.
Me? All right. Okay. Where is mine? Okay, so as I said, this is it's like spanning over a period of time from like age 19 to like 22, 23, I think. And this is just like a few of the online dates I had met that I could remember. Okay. You remind me of my sister, he repeatedly said to me throughout the dates.
Oh, good.
It was like he was trying to casually say he wasn't interested, but I wasn't either. He didn't look like his photos, and he even admitted he was 50 pounds lighter in them, taken 5 years ago. I knew right away I wasn't interested, yet hearing you remind me of my sister wasn't a nice feeling, and I wanted to feel wanted, even though I couldn't wait for it to be over. It wasn't a formal date, just drinks at a bar, better than some of the other men I had seen, better than the French guy who kept breathing in my face, or this one guy that asked me to a bar, and during the date, I had mentioned something about his hipster attire jokingly, to which he surprisingly was offended and then said if we weren't going to have sex, I should leave. I walked out and cried on the phone to my friend Jana. This one time, I had went out with a guy I had met at a bar, and we seemed to really like each other. But on the third date, he said to me, I'm tired of paying. You're paying for everything tonight. I was immediately turned off by his words and never saw him again after that. But funny enough, a few weeks later, one of his friends had asked me out. I vaguely remember it was a nice time, but we didn't have much in common. I think there was a large age gap. But the person I enjoyed spending the most time with was Gary. Gary I met on OkCupid. He was such a sweetheart. He had moved here from the Midwest, I think. I remember he was very much into film and skateboarding. Gary was sweet and kind. He had a shaved head and the most hazily eyes. He lived a ways from me, and with our schedules, we only went out a few times, but I enjoyed them all. The last time I saw Gary was at his place in Culver City. He ripped my leggings because he thought it was sexy, and I remember being very flustered about it. I had to walk to my car with a hole in my pants. I did have a nice evening with him, though. Gary could always make me smile. A few months later, he was riding his motorcycle late at night and was hit by a big rig. It was devastating, but sometimes he appears in my dreams.
Jeez,
That's
way to-
good.
Just ended that in a dark note.
I was gonna say way to kill it at the end.
No, that was good. That took
Literally,
a
yeah, he was killed.
that took a turn.
Yeah, no, I thought it would be a surprise. So, yeah,
That was
so
good.
that was Gary. My most favorite online date was just straight up killed from my life.
Holy shit.
That's sadly how it goes with favorites a lot of the time.
it was rough, but yeah, it was many years ago. And then it was like, I remember after he died, because before he died, he had like a girlfriend for a while, and I think they were living together. And then I think I saw through her that he was killed, and I was like, oh my God, like she's more invested because she's the actual girlfriend and they were living together, and she just lost like everything. And then it was weird because like I got this random message on Facebook from his dad, and his dad was like, did you know my son? Like, I know that he moved to California and I didn't know anything about his life, and I'm grieving and I just want to hold on to anything I can. And I'm like, oh my God, like this poor man. And I was just honest. I was like, well, to be honest, like I kind of casually dated your son for a little bit. And he was just like, oh, okay. All right. And like, that was it. So
That's got to be I mean, terrible for everyone that knew him and like liked him, but the girlfriend.
yeah.
Oh, man,
I've
yeah.
always thought it'd be terrible, like if a girl that I was dating like died while I was dating her. Like, what do you even
Yeah.
fucking do? Like,
Well, I mean, so I don't know, like I want to say like once every couple of years I come upon her Facebook, and like it's been like about 10 years and she's still grieving over it. I can
Yeah.
see. And like I always remember like in high school, you know, there was always like a kid dying and they had a significant other, and then it like just put them out. But
Always one.
yeah.
I feel
No,
like
I mean,
one kid every year in high school dies on it. It seems like.
yeah.
My high school was so small that we never had any notable deaths.
No, we had like tons of death at my school.
Oh well, of course you did.
It's LA. You know,
I
everybody fucking-
I have a relatively small high school, but we had one like notable death every year, pretty much.
We had. I'm trying to think if we. I don't think any. No, we had some in my college, but not in high school.
Yeah.
We had like yeah, nobody died in high school.
Did
Are-
you guys ever see, it was like years ago, early 2000s, when they remade The Bad News Bears
No.
with Billy Bob Thornton?
I
Do you ever
I never
see the
saw
remake?
it, but I know of it.
Okay, so in that movie, I think the main girl that plays his daughter, she went to school with me, and I think her name was Sam. And like I remember going to school with her. She was like a grade above me, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's the girl from the Bad News Bears." And people were like, "Who gives a fuck? It's just Sam." But I'm like, "No, I've seen her like at the theater. That's cool." Um, I remember in like 10th grade, she was dating my cousin, and then she got hit by a car and died. And I felt so bad for him. I was like, "Oh fuck." That sucks. And then he was kind of weirded out by it. He was like, I was dating the dead girl. Like that's how he went about it. It's like, okay, yeah. But I don't know. I feel like in LA, like that's pretty common. Cause I
For people to
also
just die.
yeah, like I feel like when we were younger, because there's like there's so much access to drugs. A
Yeah.
lot of kids were just like drinking and driving and doing
Mm.
drugs and getting killed, and that was just commonplace. I mean Gary actually wasn't the first person that I've seen that has been killed. I I did see somebody else that like in high school, and they died of a drug overdose, and I was like, oh well, that sucks. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably just a LA thing. Or
I had friends in high school that after high school went on to overdose and die, and I'm pretty sure a couple of deaths in high school were ODs. There were a lot of ODs in my life just because 'cause I've known a lot of, and I say this lovingly and endearingly, I've known a lot of dirtbags because I used to be a dirtbag. So, and I've definitely had a lot of people die that, and some of them have been, like, fucking actually, like, terrible and, like, weird, but, yeah, in high school, I think there was a couple overdoses in high school, I don't know, but I know most of the overdoses that I know of came from people that I went to school with, but they happened after high school, and those ones are always weird when you're doing the same shit they're doing because 'cause you're like, you're just like, any one of my friends could have died, like, it just happened to be that one, like, it's just like the wheel kinda just spins around, it just happens to land on one person.
yeah, yeah, yeah. A couple of years ago, so in high school, I had these friends, and they were twins. Um, it was a male and female twins, and they they were just a part of like the hippie crowd, played music, they were cool. And then a couple of years ago, I got the call that the sister died from like a drug overdose. She had taken like Molly with like some other stuff, and she like had cancer in the past, and she had like a fake eye. Like I think she had like eye cancer or something of the sort. So she had like a pretty weak immune system, I think, from the start. And then she just OD'd. And then literally a year later, I get a call that the brother died of a drug overdose. And I was like, oh fuck, like this mother just lost both of her kids. But the brother, he was an avid drug taker, and he was like, well, I can do anything. And so he decided to take fentanyl for fun, because he was like, oh, it's fine, I'm gonna like, it's all good. And then he did it and died. And
I
that
can,
was it.
I can
You can
reinforce
relate to that.
I was gonna say, I can reinforce the notion that fentanyl is fun. You should not do it because it's too much fun, but it is fun.
Well, I don't know how much he took. I just know that he did it, and then he fell asleep and never woke up. And then
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this poor mother lost both of her children at the age of like 27.
Yeah, fentanyl's out here, like, just, like, becoming the greatest serial killer of all time.
Yeah,
It used to be Mother Nature, but now, like, fentanyl is straight up catching up to Mother Nature. It's
Mhm.
like the ultimate serial killer.
take you out. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I think about how like when we were kids, all you had to worry about in drugs is like if it had like a little bit too much meth or heroin or something. But now it's like these kids have to worry about fentanyl and actually dying. And I'm like, wow, like thank God.
Do you guys remember Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the bad guy, Ivan Ooze.
I was not allowed to watch it as a child, so I kind of missed out. But
Okay.
I remember, yeah,
So
only
he was
vaguely.
just like a purple guy that his power was just like ooze. It was like the Blob. You remember the Blob, that horror
Yeah.
movie from the 80s? So when I was a kid, when people would say there were drugs to me, I thought drugs was all just one thing, like there was just drugs and everybody just did drugs. And I used to envision it as like a chemically like green slime that you didn't it was dangerous, like acid in like a lab. And I'd
Mm,
always be like,
Drugs.
why do people want to do drugs? Because that sounds gross and that would hurt. You know, just, that's what I thought of it as a kid. And then
like it's an ooze.
yeah, to me it was just like a green, oozy,
Ooze.
like acidic, blobby kind of like chemical. But yeah, no, nowadays it's shit, the last thing I ever heard was that like heroin addicts today are having a miserable time because they miss heroin because it's so impossible to get because it's just fentanyl. There's just like no such thing as heroin anymore.
That's crazy.
Wild.
Yeah, it really is like a strange time in like the drug world. It sounds like people are like smoking pot and like it's being like people putting fentanyl in fucking pot, like which to me is the worst.
What?
To me, it's the worst thing. To me, the worst thing in the world is okay. So obviously you have your two sides. You have your upper and your downer side. So like if you're if someone's a heroin addict and they're trying to get some heroin, if you tell them, hey, there's fentanyl in this heroin, be careful with it. 9 times out of 10, the heroin addict is going to go, oh, cool. That means it's even stronger. Let me get some more. Right. Like, I don't understand the point of dealers lying and not telling people that it's in there. I understand some dealers don't know that it's in there because they're just buying it from whoever and then selling it to whoever. But what's even worse than that is you get people that are looking to do cocaine and do meth, which is an upper, and then you're putting fentanyl in that, and that's not even the high they're looking for. So not only are you like sending them out, but you're kind of sending them out miserably. Like, you know, imagine if I'm like, I want to do some cocaine because I got to stay up for 2 days and study for a test or something. You give me cocaine with fentanyl in it. Well, I'm gonna fail my test now because I just fell asleep while I was studying. It's like an evil world in drugs at this point. Not that it's ever been like a nice world, but it's like to me that's the most cruel-hearted thing you could do. Like, yes, sell somebody some meth, but don't tell them there's actually fentanyl in it. Like,
Yeah, it's
it's just
crazy.
I mean,
yeah.
like what happened? What happened to the days where they would just put like baby powder in Coke?
Right. So
You
the
know,
worst
it's
that
like-
could happen
they're
is
like-
just nothing happens.
Now it's just
Like,
fentanyl.
wouldn't that be like just better than adding fentanyl to it? Like,
Makes
then
you feel makes me feel a little conspiratorial about it.
I definitely it makes me start thinking like CIA crack epidemic type stuff.
Right.
yeah,
It brings that to mind for sure.
Yeah, and then fentanyl also makes me think some other countries are like involved. You know, I get
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, for heroin the cutting agent was always sugar or like Coca-Cola. You could cook it and then mix it with the brown tar heroin. Anyways, I'm California. I mean, we're all California, so we're always talking brown tar or black tar. But yeah, now it's just fentanyl. Fentanyl just goes in everything. Like now, when you go to buy baby powder at the grocery store, there's fentanyl in your baby powder, and you gotta watch out for.
it's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
It is ridiculous,
I
and
don't
I
know.
do believe that most dealers probably don't even actually know it's in there because you
yeah.
know they're just
I
buying.
would think so.
Yeah, they're just buying it from another dealer, and then that dealer goes to prison because they
'Cause it-
sold.
Yeah, because it makes no sense that you wouldn't want to kill off your client base.
Yeah, and then like I said, if you're selling to
Doesn't add
heroin addicts, like I said, you tell them there's fentanyl in it. Fucking 11 times out of 10, they're gonna go, oh, cool, let me get an extra $40 because
Right.
now I know it's even stronger. Like, and they know to be careful with it. Like, hey,
Right.
know.
It'd be a selling point
yeah,
to make
You
them
kn-
aware of it.
I remember, this is off topic from fentanyl, but I remember in high school there was this guy that was selling acid, and I don't know if you know anything about this, but I remember like, and I noticed it only happened to girls. It did not happen to any males at all. But girls would take it and it would work, but they would get really sick and nauseous.
Hmm.
And there was like something he was like adding to the acid to cause this nausea. But I don't know if you've ever heard of anything of the sort. But to this day, I still wonder, like, what was that
mean-
mystery about?
I've heard that I've heard that for blotter papers they'll use strychnine sometimes to make
I
it
just
stick.
read about strychnine earlier today.
Yeah.
What's
Actually.
And
that?
that can make you nauseous. It's like a mild poison of some kind, I think.
Oh God.
I think
He
it's
was
used for
just like-
something to do with animals.
But like,
Yeah.
why was it only happening to the females and
No,
not the males?
That I don't know.
That was, yeah, I don't know. I still wonder about that because I noticed, like, I was observing what was happening and it was like people were getting freaked out. And then I tried telling him, like, hey, you know, I'm noticing this happening. And then he got really angry at me, like, well, don't pour that shit on me. I don't want to know about it. I'm like, well, you're selling it to people. So,
All right, so it says in the past, strychnine was available in a pill form and was used to treat many human ailments. Today, strychnine is used primarily as a pesticide, particularly to kill rats. Uncommonly, strychnine is found mixed with street drugs such as LSD, heroin, and cocaine.
really?
I would,
Does
I
it-
would, I would assume there's probably some kind of property to it that's recreational if used in the right amount. But of course, dealers don't cook shit in the right amounts, but I don't know. I just can't think of why would
But-
a dealer put poison like knowingly in their shit.
But does it say anything about like it affecting like the
No.
female
No.
organs whatsoever? I mean, there
Um,
must be like, because it was specifically targeting women, so there must be something
I do
with
have
the
to. I do
female
have
DNA.
to. I do have to say, despite my Instagram name, I've actually never done acid.
Oh, okay.
I've always, I was always afraid of hallucinogens, just because, I'm always kind of in a bad mood. So I'd be the guy to have a bummer trip.
Like-
yeah, there's nothing about strychnine only affecting women.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. I'd never
It's-
do that.
It's good to know yourself though about that you would have a bummer trip and then choose not to though, to be honest. Like it's a wise choice.
Even since I was like in high school, when it was,
Yeah.
around, I never wanted to. And then at the same time, I never tried ecstasy or Molly because people told you how happy it made you. And I was like, oh, well, then I don't want to come down from that because,
Same reason here that I've never tried that.
yeah, I've always wanted to, but I'm like, dude, I'm too bummed out all the time. I don't need to increase the bummer because that's what they tell you. Like the come down is like incredibly bummer.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't need to add to that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Otherwise, I would love to. I have a friend who he tells this great story about him and this girl. They were at some party, I think it was the setting, and they were all taking Molly. And him and this girl took Molly, and they went upstairs to hook up. And in the bedroom they went to upstairs, they had silk sheets. And he says, so instead of having sex, what they did was they just rubbed their legs on the silk sheets for like 6 hours and then fell asleep.
That's incredible.
He said it felt like the best thing he's ever felt in his life. He's like, I'm honestly glad we just rubbed the silk sheets because it was better than anything.
But I mean, honestly though, imagine if they had sex on the silk sheets, it probably would have been even better.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
You got stopped by the silk sheets being so good. But hey,
Yeah.
Still got to rub on those silk sheets for 6 hours. Like that's pretty great.
Good enough.
It's funny how I mentioned the acid thing. I've always been afraid of, which is always bizarre because people are like, I'm terrified of like meth. I hate cocaine. I've never done acid, but then people are like, but you like doing the drugs that I was doing were not like the easiest of drugs. But every other one I'm terrified of and I won't touch. I don't know why. I've always been a one-trick pony. I tried one, I liked it. Everything else I didn't really care for. Or even do. Nowadays, I would take acid. I think I'd be fine to take acid now. I'd have to be like in a good mood and like in the right spot.
We'll have to do it on stream.
I'd be down. I would be down. I'd sit here and like try it out and see what happens.
Do like a 12-hour stream or whatever.
I think there's some type of I forget what it's called. There's some kind of drug where it's like it's its own drug, but it's like taking Molly and acid together. But it's like not as harsh as acid. I forget what it's called. I'd have to look it up.
I know
But-
they're kind of related.
So we're on the acid portion of the disco acid cult
Yeah.
thing right
Yeah.
now, which is kind of cool.
Matt, we still need to hear your story.
So I also am a disappointment to everyone and don't
Okay.
have a story. I
It's all
have
good.
a poem from based on like kind of a first date, but
Okay.
it's more like I don't know, it's more sexual.
Okay.
But
Oh well, Annie's
Ra-
already got that trophy, so
rather
you're
than
fine.
Yeah.
rather than a date proper, but it's no, I don't know. I don't really have a good I was trying to write something this morning and it just it's coming along, but it's not there.
It's all good. Do you want to read your poem or do you want to just keep it, let
I'll
it be?
read
You don't have
I'll
to.
read the poem. No, I'll read
Okay.
something. Yeah.
It's an artist's space, so.
Absolutely. I don't want to come to the table with nothing.
I came to the table with nothing.
You came to the table with excellent stories.
Yeah, you hosted,
Yeah.
so you brought the table.
You brought the table itself.
I brought the table like 30 minutes late too.
It's okay. It,
All right,
it
so-
arrived. Yes.
I'll read this poem. I wrote this in like I think it was like 28, I don't know. All the years blend together, don't they?
Yeah.
So this one is called it's in the late 20 teens is when I wrote it. This one is called For One Far Away. Light in the window plays off the soft hair and the reflection soul, spilling out of your eyes into mine. The image of God in our hearts, but we are not content with the image. Anahatas we tear open like Hanuman who waits at the door. We love, we mingle, we coalesce and dissolve. A pranic circuit of ecstasy, of love. The soft light on her hair again, long and beautiful, her face and her skin illuminated in sweat, her beautiful form, the outward frame of her beautiful soul. Hands, arms, genitals, legs, breasts, eyes, bodies, nose, heart. We lay in Dionysian drunkenness, basking in the headiness of a spiritual wine, and a trembling glow that carries on from morning to morning. My love is a fire kindled at the root. Perfumes and oils, pure scents and reckless abandon mingle in her cup. She raises me to her lips and drinks, and we are drunken, intoxicated in the ecstasy. The typewriter has caught her hair. On my pillow lingers her breath. She is still here. I can feel her. A smile and a tear, and I don't know how to feel or what to do. Sitting on the high vista of uncertainty and confusion, I hear rain and make coffee. And that's that.
Wow, I actually really love that. It reminded me of Ghost Song by The Doors. If
Oh,
you
thank you.
know
Yeah.
Morrison's poetry. Yeah, I like that. Oh, now I want to write poetry.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no,
Thanks.
that was cool.
I've been I haven't written like an actual poem. I haven't written a poem since I wrote songs. I mean, I used to consider like lyrics, like songs,
Mhm.
poems.
Absolutely.
I haven't written anything like that for like years, really. It's always fun though, because it's literally like the most anything goes type of
Yeah.
deal.
I've been trying to get a few local people together, some of my friends and stuff, for poetry nights now and again.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely let you know the next time I organize one. If
Yeah,
you,
hell yeah.
We
If
should
you are
definitely-
inspired to write something for it,
Yeah, I'd
know,
be down.
cool.
I won my a little bit of the hype of me like wanting to write stuff was in 3rd grade I won a first place of blue ribbon in a short story writing contest. It was Christmas time,
Hell yeah.
and I wrote a little short story about a very forgetful man who he keeps buying presents for his family members, and then like he misplaces the present and like forgets the wrapping paper and forgets the I can't remember it now, but I remember it had like a perfect rhyming scheme. I was very proud of it. And I got a blue ribbon, and it was like in 3rd grade. I'm like, I was meant to do this. Like,
That is a great ego boost at 3rd grade. I like similar age. I had some kind of grocery store coloring contest that I won, and like I relate to that feeling so much. You're just like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm so cool. I'm the chosen one.
yeah, it was awesome.
For a little
Did
bit.
you when you entered these contests, did they ever publish them in books?
Mine?
Yeah, or
No,
yeah.
this was like my private Christian school.
Okay, yeah. When I was probably in like third or fourth grade, I entered a poetry contest, and then they published it in a book.
Oh shit.
But it was like I don't know. It was like so third grade. Like the poem. I think I wrote like a rhyming poem about this girl that like met her mom for the first time. And it was just it was so stupid. It was just I don't even remember how it went, but it was just like all rhyming that didn't actually make any sense. But for some reason they were like, this 8-year-old speaks the truth. Let's publish it in this book of 100 other poems.
They probably thought it was very avant-garde.
Probably. Yeah. I think it started with something like the day I met my mom was really quite a bomb. Like it was something like that.
That's
And then it
perfect.
just like petered off.
Strong opening line.
I was like 8 years old. Yeah.
I might almost say too strong. How did you ever top that?
Indeed.
I don't know. I don't even know where the book is. So
That's cool though, honestly. Like
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who cares that you were 8? Like, that's cool. You got published in a thing.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't know
I'm
where to
sure,
find it?
I don't know. I'm sure my mom has the book somewhere in her garage, but I don't know. I probably would read it and cringe and then throw it in a fire. Like
I cringe at most of the things I write.
it was like
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like the day I met my mom was really quite a bomb. Like she was totally out of this world. Something and then something. It was kind of short, but I don't know. I think it was 8. I think I just like chucked it out and then I was like, here, submit this. I told my mom and then but I don't remember like winning anything. I think like all the kids that submitted just like, they were like, congratulations, like you did this. Good job. We're going to put you in
Hey,
your book.
winning approval is great.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah. But I do remember I was on the first page and I think that's because my last name started with an A. So
That is an advantage right there.
that's the only reason why. So
In cringe, yeah, whatever. I cringed at what I said yesterday. Like that's just how it goes.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know where that book is. It's somewhere, but maybe it's at my mom's house. Maybe.
You should go to your mom's and see if it's there. And then when she asks you who you're texting, tell her you're texting Disco Acid Cult and see what she says.
No, I would just say it's you. Like
Well, yeah, but now you know what my name is.
yeah.
Before people never did.
But like my mom doesn't ask me those questions. Like she doesn't care.
My mom doesn't care. It's just like conversation. Like I'm just sitting there texting, and she's just like, "Oh, who are you talking to?" Because usually I'll tell her the friend's name, and it'll be a friend that she hasn't seen in a couple of years, and she'll say, "Oh, how's he doing?" And then
Yeah.
it's not like she's like prying or anything. She's just it's just a conversation.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of relationship with her where she asks stuff like that. So I think because I just kind of like shut her out.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, we are cool. I just, yeah.
As far as poetry, I will always maintain that I think Taylor Swift is a lyrical genius.
Okay.
Eventually I'm going to try to pressure you guys into having doing this like a Taylor Swift themed.
Okay.
I know you'll never go for it, and we don't actually have to do it.
I'm
what do you want to do?
Getting weird.
We should do like a Taylor Swift themed deal here. I don't know, like we all pick our favorite Taylor Swift lyrics, which means you have to go read Taylor Swift lyrics. I don't know. I mean, good luck, but because I know you don't like her.
Yeah, I don't either. But I'll go read it. For the purposes of such an endeavor.
Dude, her lyrics are great. Her lyrics are like something about her lyrics make you. First of all, there's an interview with her that I think perfectly sums up. She basically has 2 kinds of songs. There's the ex-girlfriend songs. That was all she had. As of the last 6 years, she has feminism songs now too. But keep in mind, I'm always talking about her ex songs. Those are like the best songs. But she has an interview. I can't remember what album she was promoting, but the interviewer was trying to, they're always trying to pry about her like love life.
Mhm.
And she was talking about the lyrics being about she said, I think everybody kind of has that one ex, or at least that one person that kind of never actually leaves their life. They kind of will float in and out, they kind of will leave for a while. I have not had a person like I'm a genuine hermit now, so I don't have this person. But 25-year-old me and younger was like, oh, that's genius when she puts it that way. Now you listen to her lyrics and you're like, oh yeah, it's about that person that you haven't seen in like a year, but they're gonna pop back up in like 6 months because they always will. That's why I always joke that listening to Taylor Swift, you'll start ranking your favorite exes like from least to like favorite because it will somehow come up when you listen to her music.
Oh, I can rank mine without listening to Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it's true.
So, okay, so speaking of all of this, for next week, do you want to discuss an argument you've had with a person as a prompt?
Oh, that's good.
I feel like that could be kind of entertaining. Or like a fight, like either like a physical or like just a verbal fight or argument.
I'll try to think of. You know what? Actually, I can already think of them.
You're always talking shit. I'm sure you have like tons of ideas.
Well, there's so many that I like can't think of one. I could do my band breaking up because that was that was a really petty fight, but it was
Yeah.
it might not be so interesting. I could think of one. I mean,
It could be a fight between like you and an ex-girlfriend or something.
I feel like that'd be too cliche, but it might come to that.
But you could like just say like a couple of them, or you can do one in detail. I feel like that could be interesting. Yeah. Discuss an argument, real or fictional. You could make up a fight.
I should tell Jay to make up a fight.
Yes.
You could get into a fight with someone between now and then. And write about it.
So how was your week? Your
Right.
goal was to go fight somebody.
This sounds like Fight Club.
Right.
Yeah. Did you fight a homeless man? We want to know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I'll probably make that the prompt.
Yeah.
How do you make these pictures? I have an idea, but I want to know how you make them.
Oh, it's super easy. So I go on Pinterest and I find a photo that I like.
Love
and
Pinterest.
then you can go onto like Canva and then just like create it. So I just like
Oh, that's
throw
not what I
some
was thinking at
fonts on
all.
there.
That's
Oh.
cool.
What were you thinking?
I thought you're making like AI pictures.
No, I find I just go on Pinterest. I type in whatever I'm looking for, and then I like search for like 10 minutes till I find something that fits, and
Yeah.
then I knock it out. Maybe I'll find
Cool.
like a picture of like people boxing or something. I don't
Jeez.
I don't know. I'll think of something. But okay.
You should find a picture. There has to be some kind of cartoon or drawing picture of Tommy Lee beating up Pamela Anderson.
Oh,
I'm
sure that exists.
totally kidding.
No, but I'm sure that exists. Pinterest has everything.
Well, it made me think of the Eminem music video where he has the two actors playing them, and he like,
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I would turn this into Jerry Springer in a heartbeat if I could.
That could be fun.
Oh, we should add that to next week's topic, is we can discuss our fights and then also the Jerry Springer fights. I always love did you know on Jerry Springer what they do is like when somebody goes on stage and then they're like, I cheated on you, and everybody's like, oh my God. To get that face of shock, what they do is they put something out in the audience to shock people. So
Like a
one
jump scare?
time one of my friends went and she said they brought out a man with like no arms and legs.
Oh, God.
And then that's how they get that face of like, what the fuck?
Wow.
And
We
it's
should
because- Yeah.
we should find. We can't find anyone to actually come on here, anyways. So this idea might not work. But in the future, once we do develop some people that are, coming on here, we should find couples that are having fights, and we should moderate their arguments. On screen.
Debate yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, but I'm super down. all we have to do is just ask people, are you in a relationship and would you be willing to come on camera and like discuss your problems?
And then I would love
Discuss
to
your
be
personal problems on stream.
Yeah.
I would love
yeah.
to be the guy that asks like leading questions to get them to say things like that make the other one mad.
Right. Instigate.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we could do that. Definitely. I feel like also for next week with discussing arguments, we can also show like, what is it, like the Jerry Springer midget fights?
I
Like
was
how-
totally
we could-
kidding about the Jerry Springer thing.
Oh, well, I feel like it's a great example.
Well, I'm still not sure what you guys want to like. To me, I look at you guys and I feel like you're classier people than me, if we're being honest here.
That's only because I'm wearing a wooden bow tie right now.
Well, yeah, but you are. That's what I'm saying.
True.
But also one, we never talked about any of the spooky shit that Annie likes to talk about.
I know we'll have to add that to the table for next week.
Two, when are we talking about The Shining? And Matt, do you want in on The Shining?
Like to watch it or talk about it? Or
To
talk
talk
about it.
about it.
I'm hella down to talk about The Shining.
Okay, we should all three do The Shining.
Super down.
Yeah.
To me, that's gonna be the best bet. Like getting at least fucking like 100 people to watch a video, because
I agree.
I was telling Matt, nobody knows who we are. We're just three strangers talking about nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
But if we talk about The Shining, people have a reason to click on a fucking video. I'll leave it uploaded for sure, and people have a reason to click on it, and then they can say, "Oh, there's these other trashy videos they do where they act like Jerry Springer or something."
we should have like, okay, I think like next week we'll do the argument thing, and then following that we can do a night where it's just like pertained around like The Shining and maybe like scary stories or whatever. And if you want to like write your own like scary story or something
Wait.
that happened to you,
When we do The Shining, it's just The Shining.
okay.
We're not going to mix The Shining with anything else. It's going to be a straight up, we're talking about The Shining.
Well, we
And that's
can
the
do
video.
The Shining on like any night.
Yeah, no,
really.
I'm not saying we have to do it on a Wednesday. I'm just saying sometime we should just do The Shining.
Yeah, no, we can do it like next weekend, or I don't think. Yeah,
What I want to do is, I know for myself, I'll watch it here in my room by myself. I'll take all my notes I want to take. We can like run down the plot. We could talk. Everyone likes to talk about theories with The Shining. We could talk about, I have a theory that I kind of like out of the main ones.
yeah,
Annie, I know you like Stanley Kubrick in general.
yeah.
Matt, I want to talk about Lolita at some point. I know most people don't like Lolita. I love Lolita. I also want to talk about Eyes Wide Shut at some point. I love Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt, basically whatever you want to get in on,
Okay.
you're totally welcome to get in on.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I'm down for a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't do this weekend, but like next weekend, I could do it anytime.
Yeah, whenever. I'm not trying to lock anyone into any time.
But we can
just
like
whenever.
after, so like next Wednesday when we meet, we can then discuss like when we want to do the Shining stuff, or at
Hell
like
yeah.
a Kubrick night. I would
Yeah.
be down. I can talk my head off about Barry Lyndon.
I still have
I
to
love that
rewatch. I haven't
movie.
watched Barry Lyndon in years.
Oh, it is so good. You
All
know
I-
that? Yeah.
All I know is that our favorite movies are connected, because I told you the candles in the dinner scene from House of a Thousand Corpses are the candles from Barry Lyndon, because he had the same set dresser.
So
That's
cool.
wild.
The other night I watched Amadeus. The
Oh,
80s
great movie.
I have never watched
Oh
that, but
my god, it was so
love that one.
good.
I've been wanting to watch. I've heard of it.
It was like 3 or 4 hours long. It was so long, but it reminded me of Barry Lyndon. The way, I guess it's like the same time period. Actually,
I would rewatch that again at any time.
Oh,
if
it's
if
on
you're
Netflix.
gonna
It was
watch it.
so good.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I hadn't watched it because when I watched the trailer, I was like, this isn't going to be good. They have American accents and they're supposed to be in France. Like that's just, I hate when they do that. But I watched it and I was like, this is fucking good. So highly recommend.
Oh yeah, it's great.
And then after that, I went on like a wormhole about Mozart, and I was like, this guy rocks.
Mozart was fantastic.
And now I want to go to the opera. It's like, but then like,
I follow
yeah.
Sorry, I just followed it's a YouTube channel. It's called Classical Masterpieces.
Mm-hmm.
This guy uploads 12-hour, like there's a 12-hour, you guys have heard of Paganini?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's got a 12-hour best of Paganini, best of like all the classical guys you could think of.
Nice.
And they're all 12. Like I put the shit on when I go to bed sometimes now.
I love that stuff. I'll put classical on during the day.
Yeah.
It's great.
And Paganini, of course, you have to like Pag because of course, if you're a
Devil's
rock
violinist.
yeah, if you're rock and
Yeah.
roll, you're down with this guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I found this playlist on YouTube. I think it's just called like classical music that goes hard, and it's like a guy fighting, or
That's
it's like a
awesome.
Revolutionary War scene, and it fucking goes hard.
Some of that
It's
dude, that
so
shit, some of that
good.
shit's heavy.
Yeah.
Wagner,
Yeah.
for sure.
People don't, have you seen that meme, that video of the guys that are like, if like Beethoven existed in like in today's age, when it's like the kids with the backwards hats on listening to Beethoven, and he's like, oh, that new Beethoven just dropped, and they're like fucking getting in the car,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
getting down to Beethoven.
Yeah.
That shit, some of that shit's really heavy,
It
and like,
goes
people don't think about it that way.
Yeah, classical is phenomenal. Easily in my like highest listing of favorite music genres.
That's good
Yeah,
stuff.
these kids don't understand though, because if I talk about it, I'm just looked at like, "Are you old?" Like,
No, it's
what's your-"
timeless.
Like, no, you age, and then things change. So-
Oh man, I could rant about classical music for a long time, but I'm not going to.
So, also for next week, let's see if we can get Jay to write a fighting story, because it would be drunk and humorous.
Yeah,
And then maybe we can get Jordan, and then see if we can invite any other kids.
Cool.
Jordan will come on stream anytime. I mean, he'll do anything. I think I'll get in the chat too. Jay, I told Annie this, Matt. Jay, he messaged me a couple days ago. He usually hits me up when I post the prompt to let me know. I don't even have to hit him up to ask him. But he was like, "Oh, I'm out of booze. I can't make it." I was like, okay, like, I respect it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can get it.
He needs an aid with his writing. It's okay.
Many do.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Well,
All right.
it's almost 8. And
Yeah, I gotta run.
I'm going to
Cool.
go do my thing. So I will see you all next week. And I will post a prompt and send it to you guys.
Till
Yeah.
next time.